This is the Lourdes Chris show.
This breath of fresh air. I'm telling you, sometimes I have to remember to breathe when I look at Lourdes because she just knocks it right out of me when I see her. And can you blame me? My God, she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. It's like a gut punch whenever I look at my wife. I love that. I mean, look, I tell all my friends and people who acknowledge, I know I got lucky. Look how lucky I am. It's amazing. But more than that, she's brilliant. She's smart. One of the smartest people you've ever met. True story. She didn't like editing before we started this show, and now she's become a better editor than myself because that's what she does. She takes on something and she takes it on. That's how she is. And that's how amazing she is. That's why she's my amazing partner in all things, including the co-host on this show. So this is my wife, Lourdes, and I am more excited than a butterfly coming out of a cocoon.
Oh, I like that analogy, especially with tonight's episode.
Well, that's why I did it.
Oh, look at you being all extra clever. And this is my clever husband, Chris, who I totally love with every part of my being because he is an extraordinary man and he's always fulfilled everything in my life that just completes me, like really. And you see why. I mean, he just says these things that I'm just like, oh, I just want to squeeze him in, like, but I won't, but I want to.
Yeah. She can whenever she wants. She can squeeze whenever she wants.
But that being said,
yes,
the reason why you're so excited.
Well, I'm more excited than a butterfly coming out of the cocoon is because tonight's episode we're actually going to be discussing, the cocoon.
Cocoon. But what cocoon? That's the actual name.
But can we stop it for a second and appreciate what that means to a butterfly? Like, if you're a caterpillar, you're just kind of going through life, and then you're like, well, life is over. Guess I'll make this cocoon around myself and call it quitsies. And then, something happens. It's just like this whole miraculous new life.
And that's how you feel when you go to this place.
That's why we're saying it. So the place is called Cocoon, but not CACOON. No. KAQUN, Cocoon, in downtown Los Angeles. Now, what it is oxygen baths.
It's oxygen water bath. So you're actually in this beautiful big tub in your own private room, and the visual is just beautiful. I mean, from the moment you walk into your room, it's just nice, and the atmosphere. But you go into this water, and this water is not just any typical water.
It's not water at home.
No. And then when you're in there, like kind of like float a little.
Yeah, we go into a little bit more on the episode, but
you got to check it out because
honestly, Matthew Kuhn, who's on the show, who's our guest this week, Matthew Kuhn does a much better job explaining this than we ever could because it's his.
And wait till you find out what it does for your body, like the oxygen of the level it does.
So literally, Cocoon is an appropriately named space for what it is. You are not the same as you went in or as you went out. So. If you're not already following us on the LouresandChrisShow.com, you can make sure you do so because that's where you're going to see this episode and all the previous episodes. So just, I don't know. There's not much more for us to say about it. Yeah, I think we should just get into it. So ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Kuhn. Matthew, it is so good to see you.
Hey
guys. We just saw you yesterday, so it's kind of nice to see you again because our experience at your spa was incredible,
extraordinary.
Yeah.
All right. You slept like babies last night.
We did. So
we slept so good. I mean, it was just like it was a deep sleep.
Yeah, it really was. And actually, I felt really relaxed after we were done.
My skin felt smooth.
Well, maybe we should, because we've talked about it a little bit in the intro, but what we did at your spa yesterday was we did an oxygen bath.
Oxygen water bath.
And it's just what it sounds like, right? I'll let you walk everybody through that a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's oxygen and hydrogen, just like water's made up of. We just turn it into a whole new batch of hydroxylated molecules through an electrolysis process. We make all the hydrogen and the oxygen in the water more bioavailable.
I love that.
Yeah. It was first of all, a lot of you who know me know I'm kind of a tall, big guy. It is a rare treat to get into a bathtub that fits me properly. And that's what these tubs were. They were incredibly comfortable. I could go toe to head. I could go toe to head and just be like, oh, this is what bathtubs feel like for everybody else.
Big guys, mention that as like their favorite part of the deal. They hadn't been in a tub that fit them since they were a kid.
Right. Yeah. So it was a surreal experience to be completely under the water with the most part for my body and just went my head above. I'm like, what? This is what everybody feels?
That was nice.
And
I like the way that my hands would just kind of float.
Well, that's a good point because we were a little bit more buoyant in this hydrogenated water.
Yeah, for sure. It has a lot of different properties. Buoyancy is one of them that you notice right away when you get in. In fact, you may have noticed there's handles inside of the tubs. And that's exactly why, because you can't really stay under the water unless you have a way to kind of push yourself under. And then the parcel pressure increases pretty dramatically as you get to the bottom of the tub versus the top of the tub.
I noticed that when I was breathing deep, when I was inhaling deep, it's like once I got to a certain point, it's like whoop, up I go, and then I exhale, and it's like and down I go.
I try to take deep breaths, but actually it was more like the from my experience, which I love, because I thought, well, I can tell it's doing something, because it felt like there was weight there, but like, so my stomach, I could feel it in my stomach and on the side of like my left side of my kidney area and in the chest, like lung area. And I thought that's funny, because those are the things that I've always had, I think, the weakest. And it seemed like it was working that. So when I came out of it, I was like, I feel like refreshed and really good.
Well, you're probably feeling the pressure there more so too, because they're more sensitive areas,
Yes.
But that parcel pressure delivers the oxygen and hydrogen. So it's this like, coordination that it has.
Yeah, it was really trippy. It's like, you're not going to feel that in a regular bath. Like you can just take a regular bath. They don't get none of that.
Right.
No, so I overall, the experience was amazing, because when you walk in, so you're downtown Los Angeles. And when we got to downtown Los Angeles, you're like, okay, well, this is downtown Los Angeles. When you walked into the building, though, it was just gorgeous. It was like, wait, did we just go into Beverly Hills just now?
Yeah, it's a cool
going down
bank
the stairs.
building.
It was like a totally different. Yeah, and it is an old bank. That's what our friend was saying there.
Yeah, but where I think it's the old bank, but where they kept like this, like the vault or something. I'm saying
the vault.
Well, yeah, we have the cool bank lobby, so we have these like big marble walls and a neat entrance, and then we're essentially in the old vault, which in the old banking district here in the historic core, all the basements and everything around here used to be bank vaults. So which made all my construction guys really happy when we were digging for drainage and stuff. Everybody's like, we're 3 feet down and we're still in concrete,
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's it keeps things, nice and cool in the summer and nice and warm in the winter, and everything's,
That's true.
I imagine, and for what it's worth, incredibly quiet.
Yeah. And when you get to actually walk in and check out and forget about where you just were, it's this whole new reality. And it's sort of the reverse, you come out of the tubs feeling like cleaner than you've ever felt. Your skin feels immaculate, and it's like, okay, woo, back to the real world again.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, so what did it do? Because I physically felt an enormous difference. I felt like a new person.
Yeah, it works on a lot of things. I mean, even just the skin issue that you mentioned, a lot of people that come completely freshly showered, clean people, get one of those baths for 50 minutes, get out, and a lot of times we'll drain the water and it'll be a ring around that tub.
Yeah.
And just, of just cellular debris. I mean, you can only clean the top of your skin when you take a shower with soap and water. When you get into this water, the oxygen and hydrogen actually goes into every cell in your body via the mitochondria. So you have multiple mitochondria in every cell. And it's if you start sending stuff into every entry point, you're going to clean a lot of stuff out, I mean, we've had people with serious cancer issues, things like that, within the first week of being there. Their caregivers, they're like, we have new skin. What is going on? And you could see for the first couple of days, they'd be leaving half of their cells in that tub by the end of the day after multiple baths. But then a week later, it's just like, this 80-year-old man has like baby pink tight skin again. It's like, wow,
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's so good. It really is. And can I tell you, like my thumb used to be stiff and the stiffness went away.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. I was like, oh, my thumb's not stiff anymore.
Well, and then you said something interesting, but you said it yesterday too when we were talking. Some people will do 2 or 3 baths in one day.
Yeah, it depends on what your health issues are like. What if you're just kind of trying to maintain, if you're young, old, everyone needs sort of different amounts of baths. people with oncology issues, serious autoimmune challenges, people that are really trying to reprogram the misinformation in them that's happening. That's where like the 3 baths a day type of scenario comes in.
Sure.
Also, with oncology patients, we've known for over 100 years, cancer does not like a highly oxygenated state.
Yes.
So right there, if you create a highly oxygenated cellular terrain, you're already pulling the rug out from under things, right?
Yes.
Then, and this also goes back to what you were mentioning about your thumb being sore. Lactic acid is what makes muscles sore a lot of times, from training, from trauma, things like that. The baths have an alkalizing effect on you on a cellular level. So I didn't even realize when I went to Hungary and started doing a couple baths a day before I had my center built, after like a week, I woke up and went downstairs and my doctor friend's business partner was like, hey, get ready. There's going to be a big storm coming. And you're like your thumb. I have a finger like that. And I'm like, no, he's good. I start taking inventory and I was like, why isn't anything sore? Even though it was a drastic improvement, it kind of like freaked me out a little. And I went running in and asked him what, he's like, well, you don't have any lactic acid in your muscles anymore. You're alkalized. And I was just like, what? This helps everybody, not just people, which is why we're not stiff and achy after the baths, which is amazing, but, more of a topical symptomatic type of thing, right?
Well,
but when we go back
point,
to that,
I didn't feel any joint pains either. So that was,
oh, that's true.
Typically I have to take curcumin and, all turmeric and whatever I can to kind of help me with my joint pains. And I felt pretty good last night, actually. So yeah.
That's the quick one. The skin and the achy arthritis-y stuff is like a 1 bath, like you're already feeling better type of thing.
And we were, for sure.
Yeah. And, the alkalizing comes after a few days of a few baths a day. And then that plays into, we were just talking about like oxygenated terrain. If you have an oxygenated terrain that is also alkalized, well, we both know it's like trying to grow a plant in the cement floor, you're taking away habitat and terrain for most things. And then a lot of issues that we're experiencing with health these days has roots in hypoxia. It's just like we're literally starving for oxygen. Everything that we isn't good for us is thriving off of that and the acidity, and so here we are struggling. So it's, if you can turn a couple of those major things around, you're starting to step ahead instead of falling behind again.
For sure. And a recurring theme we always see on the show again and again and again is that people that are in this industry to make health better for those around them are people that experience health themselves. And it sounds like you did. So you went to I'm sorry, you said Hungary.
Yeah, to Hungary. I got introduced to this by a doctor friend of mine. Mm-hmm. I was actually trying to do a lot less and sort of be a semi-retired guy. And she is like 20 years older than me and is a ball of fire and, is all over the world and talking to clients, so she one day when I was at her house is like, how's the retired life, old man? And sure. It sort of started as a joke. And then she started telling, she's like, oh, well, this, that. And she mentioned these Hungarian doctors she met at the Best Answer for Cancer. And she's like, they gave me some water. I brought it back to my clinic. She did Vega testing, which is like a resonance testing that goes well beyond that. You're weaker, you're stronger, kind of thing. She actually can put an electronic meter to that and tell you exactly how much weaker, stronger. So, basically how you resonate with almost anything.
Yeah.
So she caught my attention because she had like a house full of like file cabinets with little drawers with little glass ampules of like everything you could think of in the world, like samples to put in line with the Vega to check resonance. She said to me, I've never seen a remedy that everybody wants. I was like, what? She's like, no matter what it is and how good it is for almost everybody, I'll invariably see someone that has an intolerance for it, and she's like, I've been testing this on everyone from the kids I see to the professional athletes I see. And everybody wants, is like, wants this water. Huh. She's like, I can only fit 4 of these containers of it onto the tray of the Vega. And my pro athletes are like tacking the needle, like wanting this water. I was like, wow. She's like, this is definitely not normal water. And so of course I'm like, well, one of these guys coming to California, I want to meet him. This sounds cool. She laughs. They're not coming here. I'm like, well, when can I meet him? And she's like, well, I'm going to South Korea in a couple of months and presenting at Dr. Cha's. You can come there and meet them if you want and see, So at first I was like, I don't want to, that sounds like a trip I don't want to make. And then I thought, well, you know what? When am I going to go to Korea if I don't have a good reason? So sure, let's go. And, my doctor friend was like more experienced over there and spoke other languages. And I was like, okay, well, it's a good guide to go with. And then, Dr. Cha was an amazing host and turned out to be kind of, a way of, I wasn't sure if this was real or not. I had seen all the studies sent from the Hungarian doctors to my doctor friend, which is why I was like, if this is real, why isn't this on every corner?
Yeah.
I mean, they have amazing case studies on everything from weird African spider bites to all kinds of oncology issues, radiation, all these things they presented were just amazing. But I assumed it was for people with serious illnesses, like not normal people. Right. And, so just based on that and seeing that, people over in Korea were so accepting of it and like interested in it, I was like, okay, well, this must be real because all these very educated, very intelligent people are, giving verification on it. So let's make it happen. And at that point is when I went to Hungary and was like, oh, I want to see how these centers run. I want to see what I like about this and what I would change, what I would like to do. And that's what kind of got me, I was like, well, I'm here. I'm going to take a couple baths a day. And, because my doctor friends are like, well, you don't need 3, but take 2 baths a day every day for, while you're here. And I was there for like a month. Well, I can't, like, I came back feeling like I didn't remember feeling, I like beaten up my body with motorcycle accidents and just hard work for years. And, I was just used to being sore and achy. It was really, just after a few days, like I said, I went running into where my doctor friend was, he almost spit his eggs out. He's like, what? I'm like, why am I not sore? What is going on? Yeah, it was really. And then at that point, of course, I was all in. I'm like, are you kidding me? If I'm feeling this way in less than a week, I'm in these baths every day while I'm here. And then I even kind of stayed longer, because I had an open-ended trip and I was like, you know what, seems like a good thing to do for a minute. And then in my month in Hungary, I was there when certain people had arrived for treatment. And being there for a month, I would see them periodically, but there was a couple people, 2 guys from Italy in particular, are ingrained in my memory. They showed up, looked like walking skeletons. They, this is in Kerepes, outside of Budapest, at Dr. Lyon's place, looking like walking skeletons. Very sweet guys, but I was worried from the time I met them, and then I didn't see them much for the month I was there. But just within days of me leaving, I was back at Kerepes and I spotted these guys again. I literally we all were crying. I had to make the one turn around just to make sure it was the same guys that I had seen a month prior. And they were like, we're back. Like, we're, I was like, okay, like I got to get back to California and get working here.
Yeah,
sure.
It
was just kidding. So powerful.
Well, we're glad you did because our experience was phenomenal too. Just
all
for
right.
Bath. Now the bath session is 50 minutes, and that's true for everybody, right? There's not a different. 50 minutes for the bath. And I gotta say, I take my bath super duper hot because that's how I roll. And at first I'm like, it's warm. But I'm really glad it wasn't hotter than it was, because I think after a while, I was just kind of like, ooh, I would have really overheated if I did super hot water.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
perfect. Like when I went, because you know how you either too cold or too hot. It was like, for me, it was perfect. I got in there, I'm like,
We try to.
like, my body didn't have to adjust.
Yeah.
You know, how to be like,
well, we
yeah,
keep it a little over body temperature, but not at like 104 hot tub hot, where, you know, after 15 minutes you'd be boiling over or having heart issues if you were elderly or anything like that. And then you probably notice too that the temperature of the water doesn't change like normal water.
And I was just going to say, and it stayed for 50 minutes. I didn't notice, you know, at home, you take a tub, you're there for 20 minutes, a half hour, and you're just like, oh, it's starting to get cool.
Yeah.
I got to add more hot.
Not. You're right. It did not.
Yeah. It only drops about a degree within that 50-minute bath.
Yeah,
because it's a completely different composition. You know, there's hydrogen components to the water at this point that are holding everything in. So it's not evaporating. Like you probably, you know, when you guys were here yesterday, there was a few people down there running baths. Like there was no humidity in the air.
None.
Like none of the mirrors were foggy. None of the glass, you know, it's, we can run 16 baths at the same time down there and there's no humidity in the air.
Oh yeah. Oh no, my hair noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually if I'm somewhere and my hair just starts getting frizzy and it's like, no.
Her hair wants to get frizzy.
Yeah.
It's a perpetual problem for her.
Well, and people with dandruff and stuff, it's like for dry scalps, it's amazing. You know, it's like the rest of your skin. It'll just fix it. We notice vigorous hair growth with it, nails, you know, growing fast. It's just sort of.
Nails actually feel different in the water.
No, it's true.
Right? Did you notice that?
I
know usually I don't feel any different when I'm in the water in here, but there my nails, I could feel like they felt different. And I kept doing this. I'm like,
oh, your whole body does.
Like, my nails feel different.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in, because as to Lourdes' point, as you're in the tub, you're like, wait a minute, this feels silky. Like, why do I feel silky?
Yeah. You're like, this isn't water.
It felt so good. It was like, and then you just felt so relaxed. You know, even in a tub after a while, you're like, okay, I got to get out. Yeah. But that one, it was just like it kept you.
But did you notice your fingers didn't get that pruning either?
No, they did not. But you felt good. Yeah, you didn't get pruning.
Yeah, very little pruniness.
Yeah, it was a little bit, but not to your point. 50 minutes at home or 50 minutes of swimming, right? If we go swimming when we're kids, you came out, you were like, oh, white and pruny.
It's a whole different circulation thing happening, you know? It's actually, for people with high blood pressure, for instance, it's amazing because it opens up your whole vascular system. So instead of everything trying to squeeze through these little holes, you're actually giving everything room to breathe. So sorry, I'm talking with my hands over here.
No, that's all right.
But I just hold my hands together.
She's gotten really good about it, actually, since we started doing the show. But beforehand, she'd smack me a few times. She got better at it.
Well, if you look at some of the actual episodes, there's times where I see myself, I'm like, oh, I used my hands too many times in that episode.
It's hard to keep our wings down, you know.
Right, so now I kind of hold my hand.
When she's mad about something, I give her a lot of room to just.
So
stand back, let her express.
Yeah. But no, I like, honestly, you know, with the experience we had yesterday, I mean, not just the visual, because now, you know, each room is just beautiful.
It really is,
right? Yeah. And the bathrooms are gorgeous, the rooftop where you could hang out with, just beautiful. Everything was just
the energy was really good too. I mean,
great.
You know, I think a lot of times when we walk into a space, like for example, when you walk into a church, you have a feeling, you have a sensation about that space.
Absolutely.
There's an energy to it. You know, if you walk into, you know, I don't know, a supermarket, there's an energy to that. Yep. There was definitely an energy to this space, and it was a really relaxing, calming, welcoming energy.
Very welcome. Yes, I agree with that.
I've been to other spas and you know, treatment places where you're just kind of, it's very clinical almost, if that makes sense.
And it feels clinical.
Of course.
And it feels clinical. Yeah.
This it took a long time to inviting.
Yeah, well, good. Thank you. I'm really happy to hear that you got that. It took a long time to find a place with character that we could create something like that, you know. And then I kind of like those couches. Like it's I have the same couch and ottoman and everything sitting right here in front of my TV. You know, I literally just tried to make it like as homey and comfortable, and you know,
certainly felt that.
Yeah,
So,
good.
and for
Good.
what it's worth, there was while we are there, I'd say there was maybe 5 people present doing their own thing, and it's not like it was chaotic at all. I mean, it was
okay. I mean, like
Yeah.
really, it was relaxing. It was like you went there and you just couldn't wait to get, just go into the room, and it was, the perfect dim light, and
sure,
just everything was just visually perfect.
yeah,
And
Nice.
the whole time I'm thinking, everybody needs to be here. Like
yeah.
everyone should be doing this on a daily basis.
I
I
agree.
would
That's
say,
how I felt too.
yeah, if
Yes.
you're in Los Angeles, you definitely have to go.
Yes, and if you're not in Los Angeles,
come to Los
you
Angeles.
definitely need to come to Los Angeles and come
We're
here,
happy
because
to help.
honestly, it's one of my favorite places now. I was like, it feels like, even when you do things, like I have a regimen I do every morning when
Sure.
when I'm taking my supplements and stuff, and it felt like this time, after last night's oxygen water bath, it just felt like it just took it in better.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was just
Absolutely, it is a delivery system. We've seen
Yeah.
it with, I mean, the Hungarian doctors have a lot of studies showing how chemotherapy is delivered more effectively while side effects are alleviated. It's almost like, if you're going to do that, please do the baths too. It's
Sure.
like,
Yep.
you
If
need
you
to have
choose that route, at least
complementary.
do the baths. And if you don't choose that route, definitely
Still
still
do the
do the
baths.
Definitely
baths.
do the
Yeah.
baths too, because you have to do something to change your health. Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Now-
this really, and I mean, oxygen in general is healing.
Yes.
So now you're having this put into your cells to the level that it does, and you feel the difference. And if you're, you could be healthy, and it's like doing that is just going to add to another level. And if you're having issues, I feel you definitely want to do that, on top of whatever regimen you're doing, because this stuff, I'm going, when can I go again? I mean, it was just that great.
Well, we
crazy.
have studies showing how natural killer cells are all these things that your body does do on its own, but is a lot of times struggling to do, actually starts to happen when you expose yourself to the water. Even vitamin C production. We don't make vitamin C as human beings. Well, they have studies from Hungary now showing how 2 out of 3 people doing repetitive bathing and drinking the water started to produce their own vitamin C levels. One of my best friends was one of those people. She was like, yeah, it's crazy. Like,
that is crazy.
It was almost an anomaly. The one doctor says to the other over there, what are you giving these guys for vitamin C? We have stage 4 cancer people with 450, and it's like, well, we're not giving them anything. What do you mean? So they started keeping it as a marker on the blood test they were giving all the bathing patients. And sure enough, people with like level 50 on their vitamin C with no other supplemental vitamin C given start going over 200, 300, 400 on their vitamin C levels.
I mean, that's great. Especially for someone who's fighting cancer, because vitamin C really does help fight that. And
once
most
you
of
get
the time
over
when you
200,
take it, it kills it. Yeah.
And it's your own vitamin C, right? So you're not just peeing green and, sending it through and wasting it. It's literally your own coded vitamin C that you can use and metabolize. Really which is, great. I think, part of why we see these amazing results at a certain point. Like once that type of thing starts to kick in, we know it increases ATP production in your cells by tenfold. I mean, just 10 times the ATP in your cells. It's like, that's the cellular currency right there,
Well, we talk a lot on the show about optimal health and how our good friend Dr. Newsom was on the show, and he was saying an apple today, in order to get the same nutrition that you would
150 years ago.
Yeah, 150 years ago, you need to eat like 100 apples or something now.
Yeah,
of course.
20-something apples to get the same equivalent of the 1 apple you eat today.
So it just makes you think that there must have been a time where humans did create their own vitamin C regularly,
because things were different.
Sure.
It's funny. The doctor who was doing those vitamin C studies in Hungary, a great man named Shandor, he actually said that's all we're doing is making the water like it was thousands of years ago.
Interesting.
That was his statement that he had made to me at one point. It was like, which goes into the informational components of water too, right? We can talk scientifically all day about the benefits of hydrogen and oxygen. And, you know, clearly these are all things we've known a long time, things we even know within ourselves without anyone telling us, right? Somehow.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's really cool.
No, you got,
it's like you're putting in, you're getting into water, how it used to be like 1,000 years ago.
Sure.
And if you're dealing with, and just in general, I mean, we're so exposed to so many toxins, whether it's because of what they're spraying in the air, or they're spraying on the ground, you know,
someone yelling at someone going by you. I mean, there's, you know, so many, you guys know about Emoto, I'm sure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We know that water holds information. We know water has memory, and we know it is so easily affected. It's so sensitive, you know? Yes. I mean, if something as simple as a love-hate label on a jar can create such a different crystal than what the, you know, and we are 70% water. Imagine how influenced we are by our daily lives.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I would even suggest someone, you know, first of all, I think every single person on the planet should be doing this.
Yes.
And those who go, one of the things I enjoyed doing while I was in the water is I just kind of like closed my eyes and I really put myself in a space of healing. And and it's so funny because as I was doing, I even added my mom to it. Like I added her being there with me healing, because I think there's something energetically with that. And being in water,
love and gratitude, going back to, you know,
and I'm telling you, I left out of there, I was just like, I felt anew, like really.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. I felt super duper relaxed. Like I didn't want to drive. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna drive.
Well, when we went to sleep, you know, normally it takes me a bit. As soon as I lay down, I'd say within a few minutes I was out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. That's why we usually do ours at the end. That's our nightcap generally.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now you said you were getting a little technical yesterday about what the process is, but what's amazing to me, and I guess my takeaway from it that I remember very clearly, all the treatment is done in-house.
All the water's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
running through it.
Some of the, you know, a lot of stable, you know, things are created, but there's a lot of unstable things created in the process as well. And we like to have those, you know, those H1s, those super fresh hydrogen things that are going to be lost in time if we try, you know. It's good fresh off the presses.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I thought was so amazing, because I was like, wow, all happening right here, right now, as we're talking.
And I like the fact that you guys had that little bar put inside for people like me that's not that tall.
Oh yeah. Well, like he had mentioned, if you're shorter than 6 foot, you're going under that water without a foot bar, pretty much.
Yeah,
so
but you kind of float. And so, but
I tell people to play with it with your breath. Take a big deep breath in, you float up, you breathe out, you sink. But if you find that inertia point in the middle and then just take shallow breaths, that in itself, you know, you take the load off your back, your legs, your feet, all these things for 50 minutes. Your body's happening already.
I totally agree. You didn't feel, you just felt like you were floating. You know, like there was no pressure here or there. You were just like in the midst of this.
I told you at one time I almost went to sleep.
Yeah, that's right.
Just about.
My dad falls asleep every bath. Yeah, no, it happens pretty frequently. You know, you'll hear someone, you'll hear someone breathe heavy, and then all of a sudden, when they hit, you know, they'll slide under and hit the water.
It's so great though, because as long as I had my feet on that little bar, I stayed still. But I let my arms just kind of hang, and they were still under the water, but they were floating. I really enjoyed that. It felt like I was just in a space of this water floating.
I've never done sensory deprivation, but I have to imagine it felt pretty similar, you know, to what that was.
I've never done it either. Yeah. I don't like to be closed in too much, you know, anything.
And to your point, you're right. This was not closed in. It was nice and open.
Nope. You were open in your own room, in this beautiful room to yourself, very private.
Yes.
It was just gorgeous. Now you feel very oxygenated afterwards, by the way. I mean, I did.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
So now, and that for me, I know they say that the oxygen level being higher lasts for 2 hours additional.
About 2 hours after your bath, you're, 99.9. That's why we go back to the 3 baths a day. We recommend a couple hours in between. So at that point, you're going to the ceiling on your oxygen when you get in your first bath within a couple of minutes. You're in there for an hour. You're still like that for 2 hours after. By the time that starts to dip, and you can watch all this on an oxygen meter. Mm-hmm. By the time that starts to dip, you get in another tub, so you're right back up to the roof again.
I would love to get checked because mine's felt longer. It felt longer than 2 hours for me. But I'm very
you
sensitive.
really responded well to the water. Like you were lit up when you came out of there yesterday. I was
like, wow, I felt so new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by the way, we went to your roof as well. Speaking of ceiling and roofs.
So gorgeous.
It's nice up there.
It was nice. It's so to your point, like if you needed to wait a couple hours, that was a beautiful spot to have to wait. Very garden-esque.
Yeah,
it was gorgeous up
there. That's a great idea. Yeah. If you're going to do more than one bath, that's a great spot to just kind of chill. It was just
relax.
There's Wi-Fi up there. There's actually a little gym up there. We have a nice big lobby downstairs too. If people want to be inside, keep it quiet. A lot of times, if people are doing a program, we'll let them keep their own room for the day. A lot of times too. Like if you're getting 3 baths, we'll let you kind of post up in between.
We're gonna have a link below for this episode for people to reach out and get a hold of you.
Awesome.
But it's in Los Angeles. You can throw the address out real quick. They'd be fine.
Well, I think it's also
621.
It's
621 South Spring Street.
Yeah. Yep. You got it. We're between 6th and 7th on Spring Street in downtown in the historic core here.
And I was just going to say the historic area. You can tell too because the buildings are really cool around
Beautiful,
there.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I picked the place.
For sure.
I could have been in a strip mall in the Valley a year sooner probably, but I just didn't. Right. I wanted you to feel that way, the way you described when you came in.
It all worked. It all worked 100%. And then so we're gonna have a link down below for people how to get a hold of you. And there's only 2 spots in the U.S. for this, and so come to Los Angeles if you're close enough, like San Diego people. I'm talking to you, man. Get up here, man.
Well, I say anybody in the U.S.
Sure.
And heck, if you're somewhere in another country, bring your butt down. Because honestly, I had such a great experience that I couldn't wait to tell everybody that.
No, on the ride home, she was reaching out to friends and be like, you don't even know.
Yeah. No, I can tell it worked on her. I was so happy seeing her come out of there.
Yeah.
I just felt so lit up. Like honestly, I was just like my cells were like buzzing. I felt so refreshed and new. And I'm like, everybody should be doing this. And anybody that's dealing with any health issue, I don't care what health issue. You should be doing this.
The big mystery there is everybody is to some degree dealing with something. So
we're all suffering from hypoxia. You can bet on that.
100%.
Yeah, and we're exposed to so much stuff that. What better place to go and start going, go there on, weekly, daily, however you choose to. And then as you're putting these, these foods and juices and supplements or whatever, this is just going to, for me, it felt like it heightened it. Honestly, I was like,
oh no, it pushes all that stuff. Anything from chemotherapy to a martini or whatever, whatever it is, it actually is like a delivery. Yeah. It's really interesting.
It really does. And I'm just going, so I honestly, on the way home, I'm just like texting everybody and sending the link and got to check this place out. And really, and in fact, one of my friends, one of the people because I sent it to like everybody, but one of them called on the way home because I sent that and like, this is exactly what I need.
Go
on, see more.
Yeah. So we got into this whole conversation. So she's gonna be calling you too, but it's like.
No,
I couldn't help it. It was that great of an experience.
We've been doing the show for not yet a year. Getting to there.
Well, April will be
getting there.
Yes.
And one of the things that we said at the very beginning of the inception of doing this is that we would never promote something on the show that we haven't tried ourselves and we fervently believe in. And so if we went and did this and it just was nothing, it was just a bath. We'd be like, all right, Matthew, thank you for your time, but
sure,
not for nothing.
But oh my gosh, no! This was like everybody needs to be doing this
for sure.
If everybody got on this, I think their attitudes would change.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, they have to, yeah.
Because it just puts you in a different state of mind, and I think people that are going through depression or anger issues, anxiety, or just dealing with whatever it is, I think they just need to go there, chill and relax and be in that space and allow this oxygen to start really administer it into the body like it does, because it really, I think it just gives you a different mindset.
Yeah.
Well, and new healthy information. because
Right.
a lot of that stuff is manifesting because, you've got the wrong things happening.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's,
sure.
got to reprogram.
I'm telling you, you should have seen me. He's going nuts on the phone.
It makes you really happy. It inspired you like that.
It did.
Oh,
Yeah.
it did. It really did. I felt so refreshed that if you don't go, you're really missing out on I think this is like one of those little secret gems
Agreed.
that not too many people should know.
Yeah, I mean, and like to your point, Matthew, I think a lot of people know oxygen is good for you. But ask anybody in the street, well, yeah, oxygen is good for you.
Sure.
But this delivery system is
superb, man.
Superb, and I want to say it's also almost like not natural is not the word I'm looking for, but like no, it is natural. But what I mean is like you don't have to go into an oxygen tank and be like, oh, I'm in this weird tank or whatever.
Yeah, get claustrophobic.
It's just
it does feel natural. It feels organic. It feels intuitive.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like an archetypical behavior for us to take a bath and to relax. It's not spiking a vein or getting into some weird contraption or,
Well, and the thing is, when you're in it, guys, you got to try it out because, on top of the water feeling like smooth and silky, your nails feel cool, your skin feels amazing. And usually, and this is no joke, when I take a shower or a bath, and once I'm done, I have to put coconut oil over my body.
It's true.
I don't really use much lotion. I don't even use deodorant, but it's always coconut. Because if not, my skin feels so dry. I did not do any of that, and my skin did not feel dry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people with eczema and skin issues, it's a lifesaver. Like my daughter is one of them. Yeah, it's really well, and a lot of times skin stuff's autoimmune too, right? There's a deeper seated issue for so back to the information.
Yeah, and because you think about it, you're getting this oxygen into your system to that level, and it gets everything stimulated and moving, especially your immune system, like lymphatic system must be like, woohoo!
Oh yeah, when it's cleaning out, it's detoxing everything at the same time. As you're getting all this stuff working, it's not going to want to sit with a bunch of crap around, right? It's like getting rid of everything.
I was gonna say, I think most people, when they go to sleep, if they go to sleep normally where they have an ache or a pain or there's certain things they can't sleep, you're gonna notice after this bath you don't have that.
No, sleep like a baby.
Well, and you'll sleep deeper. And we all know from ever being injured or even hungover, sleep is the biggest repair. Like that's when you repair.
Right.
Sleep is when it all comes back around again.
Well, even in nature, animals, when animals aren't feeling well, if they're sick, one of the indications is they hide and they sleep. That's what they do.
Exactly. That's the best thing to do. Wake up feeling better. So if you can actually get that rest, same with appetite. I think anything that makes you want to eat well and rest is a good thing.
Especially in this day and age.
Oh, I know. Yes. It was so cool. Like I can't wait to those that I contacted that said they're going to go do it. I can't wait to hear the response.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear back from them.
So cool. Like wait until you can't even really describe it to the details until you actually have that experience yourself.
Yeah.
Like it really is something that everyone should be, it's something that I think people should do on a weekly basis. Well, even if you're not ill. Now, if you're ill, I would say go for 3 a day. But if you're not, just for an upkeep, at least once a week.
I would imagine, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always use the analogy of going to the gym with people, right? Like you go to the gym once or twice, good on you. It was good to move your body. Your heart's going to be happier. Like, okay. You're not going to walk by the mirror in a month and be like, oh, hey, look who's been going to the gym. What's up? Right? Yeah. Now you come to the gym every day and you do your sets. You are going to walk by the mirror in a month and be like, hey, look who was going to the gym.
Right.
The bands are very much like that,
Well, and then you said these are good for athletes as well, which makes sense to me for athletic recovery, just to get all the oxygen in it.
Not just recovery, but performance. We've got a pro ball player that his fastball went up like 5 miles an hour when he started using water. Wow. I mean, so not just recovery. Well, recovery and performance go hand in hand, but like, the
next level.
Yeah. I mean, that was part of what, interested me. Like I said in the beginning, my other doctor friend had quite a few pro athlete clients. And she was like, I'm telling you, these guys are like tacking the needle on the Vega for this water.
Love it.
And I was like, okay. And then, Like,
It's
so
so good. And imagine putting those things in after doing a bath.
Yeah, forget about it.
Yeah.
Well, and clean some junk out that's been sitting there all your life.
For
Yes.
You
sure,
know,
for sure.
I've even seen that happen to the spiritual level. I mean, there's people that'll break down crying and don't even know why after a bath.
Yeah.
Like they're releasing. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
it's a purge. Like I said, it can be, you know, half of your skin cells. It can be all these toxins. It's, you know, and reprogramming cell memory. Like, let's forget about all that bad stuff and get on to some new good ideas, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. You come out of there so refreshed and so new. That's exactly what it did. It's like it took this amazing water, and because, like you said, we're 70% water, and what we say or feel, we're affecting our bodies. But you go into this space and you're doing this, it's like it rewires, like it kind of turns things around for you.
For sure.
Yeah. It gives you it gives you a chance to commune with water that has, you know, the info and what you need in it. It's, you know, it's putting your water in some better water.
So before we go, because I want to make sure that we stay, you know, we're putting the link here where people can, and in the description where they
and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, geez, I love the name of the place. Cocoon makes 100% sense to me. Because you're a caterpillar going into that tub. The tub is the cocoon. You come out a butterfly, baby. I just thought it was clever. Cocoon is such a good, such a good name for what this is.
Yeah, and it's spelled with a K.
Yep.
That's a Hungarian version. Yeah, K-A-Q-U-N, cocoon.
Yes. So, folks, honestly, get out there, try it. You're probably going to get addicted to it because it's so good.
Yeah, we're kind of addicted to it already.
Yeah. It was so amazing. And it's a good addiction because it's an addiction of always getting yourself better, getting into the health and like really getting those cells nice and healthy. And it's almost like reverse aging because you're oxygenating the cells.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
Right?
Oh, we've had people come for a cancer issue, and 3 days later their best girlfriend is coming with them every day. And then I'll be like, oh, do you have a health issue that you want to talk about too? And she'll laugh and be like, no, I just saw her skin after a couple of days of coming here.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Matthew, we're so grateful to you. And for not just coming on the show, we absolutely love when people come on the show and help us out like that. But we absolutely grateful to you because you gave us the opportunity to try this. It was a phenomenal experience. We're recommending it to everybody to give it a try because we just had such a great experience at your facility.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to check it out, and I'm really happy that you had such a positive experience.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, no, we did. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to go again.
Yeah, we're going to be there soon.
I was going to say, I hope I see you guys soon in there.
We will be there soon. Yeah,
yes, definitely.
Try and stop us.
Good.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye now.
Right? I mean, so like I said,
now you see why though.
Yeah, cocoon makes perfect sense. I mean, that's it's like,
and what you said, like you come out like a butterfly, like
you do
this new person, and like he was talking about on the show, right? We're mostly made of water. And if you ever watched that documentary on water and how it changes things, you're soaked into this water that's doing things to your body that's mostly made of water into a different level. I mean, honestly, it's such a great experience.
Such a phenomenal experience. And you know, like I said in the show, and it's true, Lourdes and Chris show does not promote anything that we don't firmly believe in or haven't tried ourselves.
Yep. And we tried it.
And we tried it, and it was amazing. And you know, that's the thing. We endorse it fully because it was such an amazing experience. And so obviously you can check out the link down below. We have it down there. Click on there to get an appointment going. And then if you haven't already,
description.
Yep,
description.
Right there. Look at the description. And if you haven't already started following us at lourdesandchrisshow.com, you can easily do so. Just go to the lourdesandchrisshow.com and sign up for that newsletter that we've got going on there. And then also we're on all the social medias. So
So hello.
All of them. Like, you know, we're out there, man.
We're out there.
Yeah.
Go there, click there, subscribe, follow, and share for others to also click on there, follow, and share.
Well, it helps immensely. And I know that you must be dealing with some stuff in your life right now. And I know that you know people that are dealing with some stuff in their life right now. And oxygen bath is going to certainly help them with whatever it is. That's the thing that's amazing about it is it's really going to help with no matter what. So,
and if you want amazing skin,
and
you don't have any other issues,
you
want to try this.
Just for sure. So yeah, thank you again for joining us every week. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Lourdes and Chris Show has a new episode drop. We're so excited that this was kind of a unique format for us to be able to go out into the field and actually experience it firsthand. You know, so it was kind of a fun episode this week. And then, you know, obviously Matthew is an amazing guy and you know, his whole story is inspirational. So
And he actually did this because I mean he really was going to retire.
Yeah.
But after finding out about this gem, it really is a gem.
Yeah.
And what it does for people's health in general, he just felt like he wanted to do something to help.
It's amazing. He's our type of people. He's our tribe. So
yes.
So again, like, follow, and share, because you don't know who needs to know the thing that you know, and people would want to know about this. So
you definitely want to know about this.
Yeah. So we're gonna see you again in about a week because that's how this rolls. And we absolutely love you and thank you for joining us. And we'll see you soon.
See you soon.